Looking at high cost of living, you find some persons blaming it on some individuals. Now, are we saying that back then, these individuals were not in existence, or it could just be that rentage, like we talked about, finding the landlord saying, okay, cost of building materials has increased, things to get in the market has increased and all of that. I don't want to get inferior materials to build my house. So would we blame it on certain individuals or the cost of acquiring the building materials in the market?
Well, like I've been saying, there's always a process to this whole high cost of items and living generally. One person will blame the other will blame the other.
Person,
there's this there's a step to it because it can't just start from someone. Someone can't just say, okay, I had this thing very cheap, okay, I want to sell it very expensive. There's conscience. Your mind will tell you that, oh, this is not fair. But if you know, okay, take for instance, let's just create a scenario. You buy something for 90 naira and you're about to sell it for 100 naira. And as a last week when you're getting that same item, you got it for 50 naira. Automatically, your customers will feel you are inflating the price, not knowing that the price at which you got that same item last week has changed.
No, let me come into this. Just like what she said, sometimes these persons have excess of these goods that they bought in bulk. So why not just use that same price that you've been selling to sell for these persons? So it's not a medium for you to make excess money or excess gain.
I think
that is unfair.
That's where regulating
It's
that's where regulating price generally comes in. If you regulate price, people won't be able to hoard goods. If you hoard goods, automatically if new one comes in and more expensive, if you mix it up, there's going to be a certain level of lost because you are buying, you bought a new set, a more expensive price, and you have old ones. Why didn't you sell the old ones for the right price? You understand? So that hoarding is another character with Nigerians, marketers and everybody. They like hoarding goods. Sometimes you sell those goods so that if new one come, people will be comfortable enough to buy it. But it's very painful when you are seeing a goods that you know that this thing is old and you are buying it for the price of a new one. There's this discomfort in Nigeria because we can actually pay for every single thing that we want. The standard of living is high, yes, we all know that, but most people can afford it, but it's more painful when you get those things and they are not of good quality. That's where the pain lies.
True. All right, we're still talking about high cost of living in our country, Nigeria. Don't go nowhere, don't touch the dial. We'll be right back after the short break. All right, welcome back. If you just joined us, this is Flip Side with Oluije Uifokai. And today we're talking about high cost of living. We hear lots of Nigerians, Nigerians complaining about living standard, going to the market, things are expensive, transportation is expensive. So we're asking, who are we to blame on this cost of living? Is it the government or individuals, owners of this product? Now let's start with Okoje. Okay, so who are we to blame in this?
We are to blame the government, and we are also to blame the wholesalers and the retailers. Yes. Now the government, like I said before, during the beginning of the program, there's a body, a regulatory body guiding what price of goods and commodities in the country. So where have they been? Why don't they go back to their drawing board? Bring out this body again, sit them down, put good persons there that could regulate this price, and there should be a fine or a sanction to those people or to those defaulters who are going against it. And at least together the world will be well again. There will be no suffering, there will be no tears. Yes.
I love, sorry, Solomon, I love the way the reaction, the reaction on his face is like, seeing this thing is really paining me, and in fact, I am worse hit and all of these, and don't worry. everything is going to be okay.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, now to Solomon, who are we to channel our blame to?
Well, thank you very much. At this stage, I think we Nigerians, we should stop putting everything on the heads of the government.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be the government at fault every single time. Because sometimes if you look at it, the government won't know the amount of price that a market woman will put on sales of tomatoes, of pepper, all those little things. There's this certain twitch that we Nigerians we do on our own. It's not based on the government, it's not based on the wholesaler, not based on the producer, it's based on the individuals that are selling it. Sometimes
the idea of I want to gain
more, yes, everybody just wants to gain more. Yes, we know the economy might not be stable, we know we are not getting the best of the economy right now, but doesn't mean that everything is on the heads of the government. Individually, we cultivate that habit of, okay, I'm buying this thing at 10 naira and I'm supposed to make a 5% gain on it. It's okay. But people are ready to make 100% gain on every single thing that they want to sell. And that's a very bad habit. If Nigerians can work on that, market sellers, retailers, even wholesaler, producers, if they can work on that attitude and try to make sure that at least there should be a certain standard that you know that people you're selling out to, not that they have it, but they need it. Those things are there for them to use. Just imagine a company producing pasta, for instance, and nobody buys it. The company will fold up. But if people are buying it constantly, people don't worry about, okay, we have a large stock of a commodity down there and there's nobody buying it. It's better that all those commodities are being bought and we are forced to produce more. The more you produce, the more you make gains. It might be small, but eventually amount to something big. But the idea of Nigerians or market sellers inflating price, I think that's where the problem comes in, not just the government. The government have their own side of the fault, but for me, it still boils down to the market seller, the retailer, the producers of all these commodities that are essential to Nigerians. They should manage it well. They should look for ways that it won't be inconvenient for Nigerians to be able to access all these things with what they have.
Yeah, like I mentioned the government, let me also talk about what the people. Now, coming down to the transport section, or the transport sector, the increase in price of transportation has skyrocketed, and the masses, the drivers, they are still blaming who? They are still blaming the government. Okay, the government has brought down what? The price of petroleum to 165 naira. A journey or a location that you can use 50 naira to still go, they use that as a yardstick to still increase it. Why not have compassion? Why not have mercy on what? On the people? Now, they now use that as what? As a medium to do what? We have used the word extort, because they are extorting, yes, because the government, they have done what? Their own part. And now they are still, the drivers, they are still laying blames or putting all the blames on what? On the government, that the government, they still increase what? The price in the price of what? Petroleum.
You know, another funny thing when it comes to this issue of high standard of living and high cost of living in the country. If you look at, let's say, transport that you used, for example, just now, if they are complaining that price of petroleum is high, price of ticket is high, diesel is high, this one is high. Most of them, they don't have the information at hand. What led to all this increase in price? It might be the general crude oil market, and the prices for crude oil has dropped drastically, and the country is not making any gain out of it. Most of these people don't have that information at hand. For instance, someone selling rice, saying, trying to explain to the customers that the prices of rice are up right now. They don't know the information, whether they've banned importation of rice or not. So those information, if retailers can also have that information at hand and constantly dish out this information to their customers, rather, it makes it easy. The level of understanding gets so good that you know the reason why there's increase in this part. But it is very painful when you don't even know the reason why there's increase. You are telling someone that I bought this water last week for 15 naira. Why is it 200 today? And the person is saying, that's the price now. No, give me reasons. Okay, this was wrong. Or the dam is having problem. The place that they're producing the water, there's this, there's this. It gives everybody that sense of closure. You know that, okay, there's a reason to the increase to this particular commodity. Maybe it's to start praying or hoping that the government will step in and change the situation. But level of information also to this increase is actually very good. It matters a lot, and it's very vital.
Now, looking at cost of living state by state, now you made mention of Ondo State,
Ondo State,
and you also made mention of some other states. Now, do we feel that the cost of living and also the way they get their items is a result for the increase in the commodities by state to state? Or it could be that, okay, this is Edo State, for instance, and they just feel, okay, we are known for, you know, costs that are living is actually expensive, the things we sell in the markets are high, cost of living is high and everything. Now everyone wants to, you know what, gain, wants to, you know, get something in excess. Now do we feel that ranging from state to state, now there's something that our government can actually do to make everything come to a balance? Now everyone is actually selling their items in a particular amount.
Well, I think that's what every individual will agitate for right now.
Yeah.
That the government should be able to regulate prices on all ground. In the whole country, the 36 states and the FCT, prices should be regulated. Everybody's yearning for it. Everybody wants it to happen.
True.
But the possibility is very slim because we have a very large country, over 190 million people. We have a very large country. People need commodity. People sell things every now and then. You get, so the government might find it very difficult to regulate price at all ground. Only if they can control the means of production.
Yeah.
It's just like changing the system of government generally. Yeah. If they can control means of production on all ground, it makes it easy for the government to control prices. Yeah. But right now, if the government can't control all means of production, they can't control prices.
Even though the government wants to carry out such acts, at least there must be some persons like the task force. There should be a task force on ground in different states that can also support this government in this in the trend.
It's easy to create a task force for something like that, but do you know we might have a problem of people in that same task force making it very hard for people to comply,
yes,
making it hard for people to understand the fact that this is the reason. You see, sometimes and the way they relay the information to the marketers, the way they relay the information to the retailers, it makes them have this double thought of, why am I paying this tax? Why am I listening to these people?
When I'm not getting
when I'm not, exactly.
There's action for what I'm
there's
paying
no value for what I'm doing for these people. You get, it's very hard for you to see in a Nigerian setting that you see people trying to, like, okay, tax, let's say drivers, maybe get ticket or anything and talk to them politely. Do you know? Yeah. Even down to different sectors of the country. Yeah. There's this nonchalant attitude that they don't want to even care. All what they want to get is the result. Give them the money, it's tax. No, talk to them like humans. Because they are sweating to get this money. You have to pay your tax, explain to them, give them reasons. Show them reasons why they are paying these taxes. Show them reasons why they are hiking all these prices. Because if people, I keep saying it, if people have reasons, or you tell people reasons why you're not doing something, even if you've offended that person, if you give the person reasons that, I'm sorry, this is why this thing happened, the person, to some certain extent, the person will definitely listen. You get, but if there is no reason, if there's no nothing to show that this is why this is like this, it becomes very hard for people to comply.
Okay. Now, do you feel there should be a body like a daily announcement of items in the markets, like a general item, like let's say, now, okay, my people, today is Monday, and goods in the markets like granite oil is so and so amount. Tomatoes is this amount and all of that. Do you feel it would bring a stoppage to incessant increase of items in the market, cost of living, transportation, and everything?
It will not bring a stop to that. Like you rightly said, even though the government comes out to do such a thing today, it won't bring it down. Because the people, they have already have it on their mind or in their heart that this is a means for me to also become a millionaire or a billionaire overnight. Yes.
When the government has already come out to say, okay, tomatoes as of today is being sold for 500 naira, and you go to the market and someone tells you, okay, that one is just government owned, and it's 700 naira.
Yes.
You know the good thing with the idea that she's suggesting just now, it's going to give every buyer that confidence when going to the market.
True.
You know you are going there with the knowledge and the information at hand that, okay, this is the price for this thing. This is the good part. When you get to the market, let's use groundnut oil, for instance. And it was announced generally that groundnut oil is now 200 naira for the day. Because due to, maybe it was 190 before, and now 200. Now you get to the market, you see someone selling it for 250 naira. This is the good part. Do you know people won't go to that person?
Yeah, they won't.
Most people with the information at hand will not go to that person. They will look for alternate source. Someone that is selling at the right price. You get. So to some extent, government setting a body that constantly announces price of major commodities in the market will help a lot.
Yes,
it will help a lot. But I think maybe on the side of the government, they'll be considering that, okay, if we set up this body, how are we going to get our taxes? This is a situation of not considering the government first, but considering the people first. If you have the people interest at hand, and you know that this is the people you are putting forward, this is the people you want them to live comfortably, at least reasonably. In the whole world, you can't say there's no country that doesn't have people that are struggling to meet up with the standard of living in that particular country. Nigeria, no exception. There are people like that. Even if they drop prices of everything to 5 naira, there will still be people that won't be able to meet up. You understand? So constantly, if they can set a body that will keep telling people that, okay, this is the price of this today. Take, for instance, petroleum. If you go to a petrol station, we all know the price is the general price of petrol. If you don't see it, you stand up, you stand for your right. You are selling it for the wrong price. I'm not going to buy. It's only in a situation whereby you go to like 4, 5, 6 filling stations, you can't get. You have to humble yourself and come back to the first one. But the point is, we all know the prices of petroleum, prices of diesel, prices of kerosene in the market. So once you go out there to get all those things, that you already know the price, announce the price. You have this confidence to challenge them that no, this is the wrong price. You are selling at the wrong price. You can even call the police, call different bodies to like, hey, these people are selling it at a very high price and it's not supposed to be so. But imagine that in the whole country, all the whole commodities is being announced that, okay, this is the price for rice, this is the price for beans. You are going to the market with a list, knowing that, yes, what you wrote on your list, that's exactly, just like nowadays, if you have a 10 item list right now, going to the market, you might end up coming back home with just 5.
Yes. Okay, now, Aina, do you feel, or do you think that Nigerians will welcome that development? Looking at the mothers, the women at home, do you think they will welcome the development, knowing fully well that Organa knows, okay, groundnut oil goes for 700 naira, and you find some women saying, no, groundnut oil is not for 700 naira, it's 1,000 naira. Do you feel it to be a general welcome idea?
I like my country for one thing. We are very quick to adjusting.
Okay.
Families will adjust, individuals will adjust, market women will adjust, even the government will adjust. Okay. Everybody will adjust to that kind of idea. It's welcomed. There's nothing as good as when you are going somewhere and you have the idea of what you want to go and do there.
Okay.
It's just like you having the same power like the person that is there already. The person selling, you have almost the same power with the person. Yeah. But you going to the market now, even as small as table water, you can't even go to the market with your full mind that, okay, as I'm going there, the price is 900, I will meet it at 900. Yeah. No. You'll be surprised. You'll meet something else there. So it's a welcome idea in the family, no matter how, even if it's to make extra money. They know how, women know how to go about it generally. But for men, I think it even gives the women more chance to like, okay, help their husband can outrightly help them to get things from the market because he knows the price. Yes. And if you notice why men constantly
they don't like pricing things, yes, because some persons might be calling them, you know woman, you know woman rapper, or we just have to come market.
You understand? Yeah. So that closure to know that okay, I'm going to the market, the prices they've announced it. Even if he doesn't want to price, he has the idea that they announced it on TV this morning that the price for rice, 1 cup of rice is 100 naira. Then why you, they announced? He will be arguing like, they announced it at 100 naira. Why are you selling that at 150? You get that closure is already there. So I believe if the government can buy the idea and constantly announce prices for this commodity, it makes it easier.
Okay, do you feel it can also work for housing and transportation?
As for housing, it won't work. It won't work Never. I don't think it will. Because I could remember there was this time when I was still growing up, when we were still staying in two-room apartment. I could remember my father was paying as low as 200 naira. Yes, I could remember. 200 naira. Then it went up to 500 naira. From 500 naira, 15. Now, one-room apartment in Benin now goes for 5,000 naira. I'm talking about a public house where you have communal toilets, communal bathroom, and which is uncalled for. I'm looking at some of these houses that have been built with mud, sand, and with mud, sand, and cement on the back. And the person that used sophisticated materials to build his own is putting the price at a higher one than you that build your own with mud, sand. You are still comparing yourself to that person. So I don't think in terms of housing, it will not work.
The possibility is there. I don't want to be on the negative side today. Okay. The possibility is there because from what he's saying, I think I have a personal experience, though I'm not going to like elaborate on it exactly, but people pay for quality. Yeah. For instance, me, I paid for quality, and I'm getting that quality. Now you can't, like what he said, building house with mud and probably putting cement on it to make it look strong. You won't be happy to pay expensive money for that kind of accommodation. Now, for the government, they can come into this situation. I think, I'm not too sure, but I think in recent time there have been bills passed or trying to like talk about issues concerning house rent in the country generally. If they can subsidize it, I don't know how it's been done in foreign countries, but I believe that there are flexible ways that they can come into the rescue for citizens. You know, like in Benin City, I believe they pay monthly. There's a system that allows people to pay rent monthly. You can't do that in Abuja.
Yeah.
You can't do that in Lagos. Yeah. You can't do that in Calabar. Yeah. There are places that they won't even listen to you if you say monthly. Yearly. In Abuja, I think, if you're moving to a new place, what they will say is pay 2 years.
2 years, 3 years.
Do you understand? Yeah. So those are mechanisms that if they can put in place to check the system at which people pay, leave the price the way it is. But allow them to start with 6 months. Allow them to start with 3 months. Allow them to start with 2 months. Depending on how comfortable they are, it's an agreement. If there's an agreement that, okay, after 3 months, you have to pay me another 3 months, or you can pay me monthly, it makes it flexible. Yeah. Imagine you are paying, let's say someone is earning 50,000 naira a month, and you are staying in a house of 12,000 naira a month. You can feed yourself, you can pay your rent for the month. But imagine that you have to save up to pay at the end of the year. Now you have to save. All circumstances might come in along the way, and the money you've saved, you have to like take out of it to do something else. But if you're paying monthly, there's this level of comfort that, okay, I've paid for this month, so I'm free to. The time that you have money to like pay for 2 months, you pay for 2 months ahead and you're all good. So I think if the federal government come into the situation when it comes to house rentals and even transportation is very good, and I believe their ideas can actually help the country generally.
Yeah. Okay, now quickly before we go, I'll start with you. Is there a negative effect to high cost of living?
Yes, there's a negative effect in high cost of living. Yeah, let me narrow it down to what family. Yes, a family who has been eating three square meal no longer eat 3 square meal again.
They have to adjust.
Yes, they have to adjust because of the challenges in the high cost of things. Yes, even in our schools now, because I'm a tutor, yes, because you can see parents, they are complaining that they cannot afford school fees for these children. And the proprietor will be the one also still complaining that, I've added AC to my school, I've added this, I've added that, and so on and so forth. You can see some parents withdrawing their children out of this school. And coming to our transport sector, the drivers should also consider, yes, because some persons now, they are not good at trekking, but because of the high cost of petrol or fuel, you can see them, they are using trekking as a hobby.
Okay. Yes. All right, so quickly now, the effects.
It has a major effect on every individual in the country, and we hope the government can step into the situation and salvage the whole situation and make it easier for the people, because it's not easy. Day to day, we face different challenges when it comes to standard of living, and we all hope that one day the government of the country can actually see reasons how to like come into the rescue for Nigerians and see how how people can be very comfortable living their day-to-day life. In
And adding to that, please, the masses, please, let us not blame the government only, please. We should be considerate.
Exactly.
Let's not just not anchor everything on the government. Let's have what the masses at heart, please. Even though we bought something or goods for like 500 naira, and we're supposed to make gain of 200 naira. Even though you are selling to make a gain of 100 naira, please, because of the masses.
Okay, I believe with the plea of Chibuzo, it has definitely gone far. And government, the market sellers, those in the market has actually heard your plea. And certainly, please, I will urge you, don't live above your means. Try and live within your means. And certainly, even as we all are experiencing high cost of living in our country, Nigeria, one way or the other, you should be able to, you know, make a balance as far as the living standard is concerned. So I'll be seeing you again next week for another exciting time on Flip Side. You have yourself a blessed day and bye for now.